guys, today I thought we could make some peanut butter chocolate chip cookies because they just sounded really good. So that's what I want to make today. So come along with me and make it with me. It's a pretty simple recipe. Let's get started. I'm going to use my KitchenAid today. You can use a hand mixer or you can mix by hand if you don't have a mixer. We're going to start with the ingredients list, and that is 1 cup unsalted butter, room temperature. This one's already at room. 1 cup of peanut butter. That's the kind I have right now, but you can use any kind of peanut butter, and it can be crunchy or creamy. It doesn't matter, it's your preference. 1 cup of white sugar. 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And I'll show you how to do that. 2 eggs. 2½ cups of flour, which I already portioned out right here. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. This is the baking powder. And 1½ teaspoons of baking soda, which is that one. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now this recipe that I'm using, I'll have it in the link so you can check it out for yourself, but it doesn't call for any vanilla. I'm gonna put it in anyway because I just always put vanilla in everything. It makes it better. It also doesn't call for chocolate chips, but we're gonna do that anyway too. Because why not? Why not? All right, let's get started then. I'm gonna pull my mixer out here. Shot. Perfect. All right, first step you're gonna do is wash your hands, which I just did, but wash your hands. All right, and then our first step is cream butter, peanut butter, sugars, all together. So we're gonna add the peanut butter, the butter, and the white sugar and the brown sugar in here. I'm gonna start with the butter. Peanut butter. We're gonna do a cup of this. This is gonna be fun. I have found that with peanut butter cookies, which I've made quite a bit of, it's a pretty forgiving recipe. So if your numbers aren't exactly right, it's gonna taste good, it's gonna taste amazing, it's not gonna be ruined. If you have a little too much of one thing, it might make the consistency a little different, but you really can't have a bad peanut butter cookie, in my opinion. That's about 1/2 cup. So I will do the best that I can here, but we're just gonna go with it. I went with creamy because, you know, I'm going to be using this peanut butter for my kids' sandwiches anyhow, so they prefer the creamy, so I went with creamy, but I actually prefer crunchy in my peanut butter cookies. But I thought it might be good today if we're going to do chocolate chips in them too. I don't know, the creamy with the chocolate chips sounded good. All right, that's looking good. We're going to pop this up. We're going to put this in here. You know, this step would probably be ideally done with like a spatula, but yeah, I'm not doing that because I already dirtied this knife. That's good. That's good. All right, so 1 cup of each is what I said. 1 cup white sugar, 1 cup packed brown sugar. So this is 1/4 cup because I really need to get you measuring cups, but I just have to do the math now. So we're gonna do 1/4 cup, so that's 4 of these is 1, 2, 3, 4. And same with the brown sugar, but with brown sugar, typically, unless the recipe says not to, you want to pack. So So this is what packing looks like. I'll show you. It kind of feels like sand. I'm sure you guys have used brown sugar before. It feels like sand. My kids have this thing called kinetic sand, and it really feels just like kinetic sand. So I'm gonna pack that in like this. Yep. And there's one. So we're gonna do 4 of those. Yep. Okay. Now we're gonna cream those together. And by cream, it means just to mix up, but because the butter is soft, it's gonna be creamy. That's what it means. So I'm gonna show you, do it like this, I'll show you. Got all our stuff in there, the butter's underneath. Let's cream it. Like that. And actually, we'll grab a spatula just to get this peanut butter off the side there, right? And when you cream like a butter, or like if you're using milk or whatever, and like dry ingredients, you want to start off slow and then work your way to a little bit faster with a mixer, because if you start off really fast, it's gonna go poof, and all the stuff's gonna go everywhere. All the dry ingredients will poof out. Experience. Learn from my mistakes. All right, I'm just gonna give it a quick scoop on the sides and do it one more time. Get that really mixed in. Pretty good. Now, I think we're gonna beat in the eggs. This is actually, in baking, like my favorite part, because you get to turn the mixer, I don't know, it's silly, but you turn the mixer on, then you crack the egg and you like beat it, like put the egg right into it. I mean, some people put it into a bowl first, which you can do, but I like doing it this way, and I feel very professional doing it. So we're gonna do that on a medium speed. Yeah. And I'm gonna wash my hands while that beats together, and then I'll show it to you. Is good. Oops. Now you should be looking, here, let me scoop this off and I'll show it to you. Something a little bit like this. Beautiful. Beautiful. Next step is going to be our dry ingredients. That's typically how it goes with cookies, huh? Wet ingredients first, then dry ingredients. Sift flour, baking powder, and baking soda and salt into the butter mixture. So, I'm going to get out our little handy dandy sifter here. I'm just going to put that over the top. I've got the flour already right here. I'm going to do portions, so it's not a ton of dry ingredients all at one time. The recipe doesn't call for that, but I want to do it that way so that it doesn't poof up, because I'm afraid I'm going to make a mess. So we need flour, baking powder, how much baking powder? All right, 1 teaspoon baking powder. I'm just going to go ahead and add that to my flour mixture right here. And then it's going to be 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. So we're going to do that. Level that off there. 1.5. before I put my dry ingredients in, that's the time I want to add my vanilla. And I'm not going to add very much because I don't want it to be too wet. I'm going to add half a teaspoon just to get some flavor, because I love that flavor. And then we're going to add some salt. Half a teaspoon. Flour, check. Baking powder, check. Baking soda, check. Salt, check. We're gonna mix this up. Like so. And I'm just gonna pour a little onto my sifter here, like that. That's about it. And we're just gonna sift it like this. And sifting really just gets out all those big chunks so that you don't have any big chunks of flour or any of the dry ingredients into your cookie, which would be gross. And so I'm gonna put this shield on and start off slow. And I'm not gonna mix it fully because we still have more to add. Sift. We're getting sifty. So add that in there like that. Again, you're gonna start off slow. Work your way up. Ooh. Give it a little bit more power because it's getting stuck. There we go. Sounds like a unbalanced washing machine. We don't want to break my mixer, so that's probably pretty good. That's a thick dough. That's great. That's fantastic. We're going to take this off. That's all. Oh yeah, let me show you that. That just like solidified right up. That is the consistency that you want with a peanut butter cookie. It feels almost like Play-Doh. That's gonna be a very good, chewy, yummy cookie. Okay, so now that's it for this part, guys. But with peanut butter cookies, you need to chill the dough before you put it in the oven. You want to chill it for an hour. So you typically will ball this all up and put it in like saran wrap or plastic wrap. I don't have any plastic wrap, so I'm gonna ball it up and put it in aluminum foil. Anything that seals it and you can put in the fridge. Oh yeah. That looks awesome. When I was growing up, my grandparents raised me, and so I would do a lot of baking with my grandma and my aunt, who also lived on the same property as me. And one thing I always remember when we would bake is that when we were done with the mixture in this bowl, or the mixing bowl that we were using, my grandma and my aunt would both always make sure to get every tiny little piece of dough. And I always thought, when I was a kid, why? Like, what does that little tiny piece matter? But I think, I never asked, but I think it's kind of beautiful. They're really loving themselves because they put on all this hard work to make these things, and they did it often, like every day. Home cooked meals, home baked goods. And so they're really saying, you know, my effort is worth making sure I get every piece. And I like that. So I do that now. Okay, so we've got our dough here. I'm just gonna wrap it up. All right, I got it in my aluminum foil. Made sure there's no way the air is getting in. Packed it tight. I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator. We'll be back in an hour. Okay, folks, it's been an hour, about an hour. Let's open this guy up. And so it's the same, but just a little cooler. So now we're gonna roll. We're gonna make sure you wash your hands again. I did off camera. It's a little crumbly, so be careful. We're gonna get a ball size about an inch. So we're gonna ball it about like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill up this baking sheet, and I'll show you what the next step is, which is the fun part. Okay, now we have our cookies. I'll put them back on our baking sheet. Let's make sure you can see this well. Right there. Now we're gonna take a fork, you know, because this is like the signature peanut butter cookie look. And we're just gonna push with this side down like this. On top, push down. Oops, that one kind of fell apart. Oh, maybe they're not chilled enough. Push down, make a mark. We're gonna do the same on the other side. So you're gonna make like this crisscross kind of looking mark. I'll show you in a second. Make sure your cookies are pretty firm together or they're gonna fall apart when you do this. So let me show you what that looks like. That's the signature peanut butter cookie look. And I'm gonna go ahead and do it to the rest of them. Okay, now they're all smushed down and cute. I'll put that guy back in a cookie. We're gonna put it in the oven we're gonna start with 10 minutes. You're gonna bake for about 10 minutes or until starting to brown. I know about, especially peanut butter cookies, is that once you see a hint of brown, take them out, because they will continue to cook after you take them out for a little bit. And if you don't take them out right away, then they get pretty hard, which is good too. But I like mine a little bit chewy. So here we go. In they go. All right, we'll see you in 10 minutes. All right, the timer just went off, so let's check on these babies. Let me turn the timer off. Alrighty. Oh, those look good. I think I'm ready to take those out. You can see those. So let's take those out. Set them up here to cool. Okay, let's see. Can you see those? Yeah. Okay, so see right here, it's got a little bit of toastiness on the sides, if you can see that. That's what you're looking for, like that. See, you could put these back in for a couple more minutes, but they're gonna be really nice and chewy in the center when they're cool, and that's what we want. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy these peanut butter cookies as much as I'm going to.